Well, the whole idea of him obviously making that appearance on radio is because he wanted to interact with the Zambian people, having them ask questions, and he was responding to these questions. So, are you saying that it was not of importance for him to converse with the Zambian people on such a platform?
Well, Justin, you must remember that government is a big institution. It is not made up of one person. It is not only made up of President Hakainde Hichilema, and there are a lot of people who should be able to speak on behalf of government. That is why you have the presidential spokesperson. That is why you have the chief government spokesperson. Those are the people who are supposed to be in the full-time business of interacting with the Zambian people, and not the president himself. So the president is essentially hijacking the nitty-gritty jobs of the people that he hired. He is supposed to be a strategic person. He is supposed to look at the bigger picture of the issues affecting the nation. He is supposed to be looking at right now why the Food Reserve Agency is not delivering empty grain bags to farmers, why the Food Reserve Agency is not buying maize from farmers, and why the Food Reserve Agency has not paid farmers up to now, when the farmers actually need that money to be able to buy farming inputs, because the farming season has come. Those are critical issues that are affecting the Zambian people, and those are the issues which President Hakainde Hichilema is supposed to be focusing on, and not engaging in talk shows on radio as if he has now become a DJ.
Well, you have briefly talked about the president in the new administration having to dissolve some boards and having to dismiss some individuals. And recently, we did see the president terminate the appointment of secretary to the cabinet in Dr. Simon Miti. What do you make of this decision that did come through?
Well, from our standpoint, Justin, we believe that there's no question that the president has the mandate and authority to put together a team which he feels comfortable working with. But the issue that is of concern to us, the issue that we are not happy about, is the fact that whenever the president terminates the employment of any of these senior government officials, whether it be the permanent secretary of some ministry or the secretary to cabinet, or when he dissolves a board, he does not put in a replacement. That is the issue that concerns us. He can make any changes that he wants, but he should always put in a replacement so that the government is not at a standstill, so that the operations of parastatals are not at a standstill. When the president terminates somebody and just puts another person in an acting capacity, you know, the reason why these positions should have a substantive person and not an acting person is because there are certain things which an acting person cannot do. There are certain decisions which an acting person cannot do. And this applies even, I'm sure you are aware, when a president is out of the country and he appoints an acting president, whether that acting president is the vice or indeed any other person, that person cannot do a lot of things. Their hands are tied to a large extent. The same applies to these individuals whom the president appoints as acting. So when you have an entire government of acting officials, you can be rest assured that that government is not going to be able to move. That government will be on standstill. Because when you are acting, you are simply warming the position for a substantive person, and you cannot make decisions. And so the total effect of such a situation is that services will not be delivered to the Zambian people. And it is the Zambian people who suffer at the end of the day. As we have witnessed a lot of things not being done up to now, simple things, such as, the same issue of farmers being able to be assisted with farming inputs, farmers being given, not being given grain bags. Those are simple things which a properly functioning government was supposed to address But the current government is very far from functioning. It is at a standstill.